Hi guys, it's Wataru and today I'm gonna be talking about the book Freakonomics, written by the economist Stephen Levitt and the journalist Stephen Dubner. The book is really unique, tackling on economics from an unusual perspective. It suddenly throws a question at you like, what do school teachers and small wrestlers have in common? Or why do drug dealers live with their moms? And even, how much do parents really matter? So as I was planning this video out, I was thinking, is this too controversial suddenly talking about parents and stuff? But I just decided to deliver it to you guys anyways, as it was in the book. So I will be covering these 4 questions. 1. What do school teachers and small wrestlers have in common? 2. The similarity of KKK and real estate agents. 3. Where have all the criminals gone? 4. How much do parents really matter? Just before getting started, I would like to inform you guys that if you guys want to read this book, it will be a spoiler, so don't watch this video. But if you want to know more about the book, it's a perfect one for you. Then since intro's done, let's go. So what do school teachers and small wrestlers have in common? I'm just gonna tell you the answer from the start. Levitt says that they're both cheaters. Wait, what? This was my immediate reaction. I mean, I understand the students are cheaters, but teachers? And why small wrestlers? So let me explain it to you. Levitt, with the help of Chicago Public School, gathered a massive database of multiple choice test answers for every student between 3rd to 6th grade from year 1993 to 2000. This was roughly around 30,000 students per grade per year, and this meant more than 700,000 sets of test answers. It's freaking crazy. So after checking and analyzing, he found an awkward trend of academically poor students suddenly scoring well on difficult questions in the same pattern. And somehow, there were similar patterns for wrong answers too. Later, Levitt found that some teachers were correcting wrong answers after the test and some worse by writing correct answers on the board during the test. He says that this tendency of cheating was found more among new teachers who were made in charge of classes with many academically poor students, which they had to pass the test to move up the grade. However, the motivation of cheating was not only for students but also for themselves, because if the class scored higher, it meant that they would get praises, promotion, and even richer. So for every incentive, there is always a dark side. Then how does this relate to small wrestlers? Before getting onto this, let me explain about my country's national sport, sumo. So sumo isn't just a sport, it is part of our history and tradition, which includes ritual events like throwing salt for purification from the Shinto religion. So I was thinking, how can a sinful act like cheating exist in sumo? I didn't believe in it at first, but Levitt published a paper on this with data, so I was like, damn. So here's how he explained the cheating using data. In sumo, the elites, who were in the top 66, compete in the tournament 6 times a year, which is held every 2 months. And for each tournament, the small wrestler is going to have 15 matchups, and if the wrestler records at least 8 wins and 7 losses, he will up his ranking, and if not, his ranking will fall. So the wrestler, who is on 7 wins, 7 losses record, with one final match to go, it will be a critical one. Then Levitt asks, if this wrestler with 7-7 record is going against another wrestler who is on around 8-7 record that can compete for the top position anymore, is there a possibility that this wrestler with 8-7 record purposely let the opponent win to protect the opponent's demotion? So to answer his own question, he goes on to check the data and analyzes them, and this is what he found. According to the data collected for elite small wrestling tournaments held between January 1989 and January 2000, the predicted percentage of 7-7 wrestler winning against 8-7 wrestler was 48.7%, and the actual winning percentage was 79.6%. And in addition, the predicted percentage of 7-7 wrestler winning a 9-5 wrestler was 47.2%, but the actual winning percentage was 73.4%. Although the jump in number is really high, it could just be a pure luck. But these numbers alone might prove small wrestlers were actually cheating behind our backs. Just to remind you that relationships between elite small wrestlers are close as they meet every 2 months for their tournaments, and the heya, which is basically the house that they belong to, also has close ties with other heya, as bosses that runs these are usually the former small champions or the prominent ones during their era. Then since some school teachers and small wrestlers are cheaters, can we say that we are all corrupt equally? The answer to this question actually lies in bagels. So there was this guy called Paul Feldman who quit his job with the US Navy to sell bagels. Every morning he goes to various companies and put a basket of bagels and the money box at the common area. As he was running this business, he took a record of his income and how many bagels were taken without being paid. His business was running on an honesty basis, which meant that his income was dependent on the number of people who honestly paid for their bagels. Levitt says that this thing that Feldman did was perfect to measure economics. If morality is the way we want the world to work, and economics represent how the world actually works, Feldman's work stands right at the intersection. Then just to cut short, I would just state the important part. So Feldman states that the payment rate of his bagels were 87%, and from this, Levitt concludes that yes, they were cheaters, but at least 87% of them were honest. So we can say that people do cheat, but not everyone. Most of us are actually honest people. What's the similarity between KKK and real estate agent? Levitt says that they are both manipulators of information asymmetry. Information asymmetry is when one party holds more information about a certain thing than the other party who are both involved in the same matter. Let's say you are viewing this particular house you are considering on buying, and you ask the real estate agent about the house. He most likely knows very well about the house, including its flaws, but he will not tell you as it goes against his own interest. He quickly want to sell off the house and receive the commission, not really following your interest. Then how's this similar to the KKK? So KKK frequently communicates using codes exclusive for their members. This secretiveness attracted those from poor backgrounds to join, seeking for a sense of belonging. So in this situation, KKK is holding something cool for the prospective members which they don't have. And after joining the KKK, senior members exploit them to carry out dirty tasks in return for their sense of belonging. But the new members weren't taught about this beforehand. This is the manipulation of information asymmetry by the KKK. But I believe information asymmetry isn't always manipulated. Like your parents, who knows education is beneficial for you, would always advises you to focus on studies. I was tired of listening to my parents telling me to study and I didn't fully understand the benefits of it, but now I'm glad that I've listened. This allowed me to enter university, furthering my studies and meeting many friends who have inspired me to be the best version of myself. I'm quite happy now and I'm not sure how would I be if I didn't really listen to my parents' advices. Where have all the criminals gone? Within the year 1974 and 1989, the crime rate increased by 80%, and on 1989's Christmas Day, the crime rate of the US was to hit the peak. TV news reported violent crimes every day. However, from the early 1990s, the crime rate kept falling. This wasn't just a normal fall, it fell a lot. Various experts pointed out many different factors to provide reasoning for this rapid fall, such as the US having stronger economy, increased number of police, and tougher gun control laws. The first two factors actually did contribute in a fall, but the last one didn't, as most guns were traded via black markets. However, Levitt says that the main factor which contributed to the drop in the crime rate was the legalization of abortion. Okay, let me just summarize this short. So before abortion was legalized, mother had to give birth to unexpected babies regardless of whether they were emotionally and financially ready to raise a kid. Often these mothers had little education, little money, and raised the child alone. These kids raised under this situation often had a higher tendency to commit crimes. But as soon as the abortion became legal, mothers now had a choice to actually give birth or not. And this, according to Levitt, reduced the crime rate drastically. And here's the stats. The crime rates of 5 different states where abortion was legalized before the Supreme Court extended the abortion rights to the rest of the country shows that between 1988 to 1994, the case of violent crimes reduced 13% more compared to other states with abortion being illegal. And between 1994 to 1997, it reduced more by 23% compared to the rest of the states. In addition, the state with the highest crime rate in 1970s had the largest drop after the legalization of abortion in 1990s. And the result was the same when other factors were controlled. I didn't expect this, and hopefully this was a new insight for you as well. How much do parents really matter? It's controversial, but Levitt asks, in the context of how much effect do we receive from being raised by parents? Of course, if the child is born unwelcomed or is under abuse and neglect, that is bad, but the question here is, how much do eager parents can provide and accomplish for their kids? Experts state that genes are responsible for around 50% of the child's personality and abilities. The book written by Judith Rich Harris, The Nurture Assumption, Why Children Turn Out the Way They Do and Parents Matter Less Than You Think and Peers Matter More, also says that it's a cultural myth about parents having large effect on child's personality. So since parents don't have much effect in the child's personality formation, then how about school performances? And according to the data, parents do create differences. These are the 4 factors I have picked up from the book. Out of these factors, which of them do you think are strongly correlated to a child's test score in school? The ones highlighted in red are the answers. The child with highly educated parents tends to put more importance on education, as well as higher IQ, which is hereditary. On the other hand, child's test score does not get affected by the child's family structure or the neighborhood. So the conclusion is, parents does not have much role when it comes to the personality formation, but parents play a great role when it comes to child's school performance. That's all for this video. I hope it was interesting for you guys. Economics wasn't only about theories after all. For more videos, please click on the subscribe button and comment down below on what you think about it. And if you're interested in making an animated video like this, you could click on the link at the description section. I can't wait to share more books with you guys. Cheers!